It's all crazy. Mm. So I woke up this morning and I hear this big leak from the Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah, a decision written by Samuel Alito, or allegedly written by him. It was leaked by Politico, and it basically overturns the Roe v. Wade decision. Mm. And everybody is having a complete meltdown over this leak. Apparently, the decision is going to be 5-4. And as I'm recording this on what is it today? Tuesday morning, May 3rd. Well, the news I'm getting is that it's going to be a 5-4 decision, or maybe Judge Roberts will not vote, so it'll be a tie, and so there'll be no decision. And, all kinds of speculation as to where the leak came from. It could well be from Roberts, one of Roberts' clerks, or Roberts himself telling one of his clerks. There's also the rumor that it is a clerk from Judge Sotomayor. Who knows? Who cares? It's not important. Is the decision legitimate? Probably. But the important thing, the funny thing, is that all of a sudden, like all of the oxygen insofar as the Ukrainian war got sucked out. And all of a sudden the people, like myself talking about the Ukrainian war, we're like fish flopping around, right? Well, I'm mixing my metaphors, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, we were supposed to be the thing, yeah? The whole Ukrainian war, we're it, man. We're the new thing this week. Pay attention to us, not that abortion thing. Screw that abortion thing. It's us, man. Ukraine. Stand with Ukraine, right? I swear to God, the United States just hopscotches from one topic to the next at this point, And right now, the abortion thing is the new thing. And everybody's talking about that. And obviously, it's going to blow away all of the headlines on the Ukrainian situation, very conveniently, considering the fact that, tragically, the eastern Ukrainian army is being cut to pieces, just completely annihilated. And rather than having, sued for peace, a ceasefire, something to prevent this needless loss of life, all these young men are going to die, and some of them not so young men, a lot of them conscripted. As I said at the beginning of the war, I told people that a lot of my acquaintances were fleeing the city for fear of being forcibly conscripted into the Ukraine army. And I was called a Putin shill because of it. And now it's being reported that a lot of these units that are out in eastern Ukraine are filled to the brim with late 30-something, 40, even early 40-something men with no combat experience whatsoever who were pressed into service. I said this 2 months ago, and I was called a Putin bot, a Putin shill, a Putin apologist. And now it's turning out to be true, just as the ghost of Kiev is turning out to be a lie, as I said 2 months ago. Come on, man. I mean, anybody with even just 2 brain cells would have realized that that was a big old fib. But, okay. So the thing that I want to focus on. See, the war in Ukraine is being lost. The Americans have admitted that it's a proxy war and that the war is lost, and the Russians are just grinding down the Ukrainian army. And so all of a sudden we have this hysteria over this abortion decision. To tell you the truth, it seems to me that this was a deliberate political decision to change the subject. Somebody, I personally think it's Barack Obama, because I think that Barack Obama has been puppeteering a good 60% of everything that's been going on. Somebody decided to change channels, change the program, change from I stand with Ukraine to, abortion rights must be defended at all costs. And so we're going to be talking about abortion and the Ukraine situation. It's not merely going to go to the back burner. It's, they're going to take it off the stove altogether and just shove it in the refrigerator and just ignore it and pretend it didn't even happen. I think that's what's going to be going on. And this will coincide, of course, with the collapsing situation here in Ukraine. And it's just the way things are. Now, this morning, as I was checking up on my feed, excuse me, I watched the Tucker Carlson opening segment, and he pointed out something that it never occurred to me, but was so obvious. That the Democrats, when they lost the 2016 election, they blamed it all on Russia. They blamed the leaks of the DNC on Russia. And it was obviously such a lie. I mean, everybody knows that it was Seth Rich who leaked that information. The forensic evidence of the downloads of all the DNC emails, it proved that it had been done in such a short period of time that the only way it could have been done is if somebody had plugged in a USB into a computer port and downloaded it that way, not something done online over the internet. So it wasn't a Russian hack. It was an inside job. Seth Rich was probably the guy. By the way, Seymour Hersh, who was a great investigative journalist, he was of the opinion that that was exactly what had happened, and he was of the opinion that Seth Rich was not assassinated by the DNC, as a lot of people think, which, frankly, I wouldn't put it past them. But Seymour Hersh thought that the death of Seth Rich was probably a genuine, messed up robbery, that it was what it appeared to be, and not, some grand conspiracy. Which wouldn't surprise me, because a lot of times, all kinds of weird stuff happens in real life, and all kinds of weird coincidences that don't really mean anything. Like sometimes a cigar is just a cigar kind of thing, right? But anyway, that's very parenthetical. The point I wanted to make about Tucker Carlson, he did his opening monologue, which is really, really good, and he pointed out something, that the Democrats blamed the loss in 2016 on the Russians, that Trump was a Putin stooge, a Putin bot, a Putin agent. I mean, they actually said that he was controlled by Vladimir Putin, which is absurd. They also said that Russia was behind the leaked emails, and it was all Russia, Russia, Russia. And they banged that drum for 2 years, and everybody sensible at first thought, oh man, they're banging the drum pretty loud, that must be true. But then after a while, we all realized, it's bullshit. The Russians had nothing to do with this. But here's the thing that Tucker pointed out. He said that, in essence, the Democrats are believing their own bullshit. They've come to the conclusion they believe their own lie, and that they actually believe that Russia was behind it all. And Russia is behind it all, and so this proxy war against Russia, which they have admitted as of yesterday, this proxy war is payback for what the Russians did to them in 2016, which of course the Russians did not do. It's just a figment of their imagination. But they repeated the lie so many times that now they believe it. They repeated the lie that Russia was responsible for Hillary Clinton's loss so many times that they have internalized it and they are projecting it outward. And that's why a part of them, not all of them, but a part of the Democrats pushing for a war, an open war with Russia, is revenge for a lie that they have come to believe, which is insane. Robert Kagan and Victoria Nuland and Anthony Blinken and Wendy Sherman, who all want a war with Russia because of ancient ethno-religious hatreds that they have, well, that's understandable because that actually happened, okay? The pogroms of 1905 were real. And it actually did affect their grandparents. So at least, that's real. And so they're justified. But Hillary Clinton and the Clintonista cabal, who have internalized the Russia story, they're operating on a literal false narrative. They are operating on fiction. It's a fiction that is pushing them to war with Russia. Russia, a nuclear-armed country. Russia with the largest nuclear arsenal on the planet. Russia, a nuclear power that is proving to be one of the most powerful military forces on the planet, if not the most powerful. Because, come on, if NATO and the United States thought that they could take on Russia, they would have sent troops in already, okay? There'd be an actual war between NATO forces and Russian forces. The fact that there isn't pretty much proves the point that the Americans know that they can't take the Russians. So anyway, this is a little bit disorganized, this early morning video. I just wanted to punt out there all these thoughts, but it's wild, isn't it? Yeah. So expect the Ukraine situation to just vanish from the news as the losses mount, the losses that cannot be hidden mount, the POWs and all the rest of it. I mean, I pray to God that it is POWs and not KIAs, because the Ukrainian people, the young men fighting, and then the not so young men fighting, they don't deserve to die because of some idiotic people out in Washington. They don't deserve that. It's wrong. And so I hope to God that this war ends quickly and as painlessly as possible and with as little loss of life as possible. That's my true hope. And and insofar as the West is concerned, this entire war is going to go into the back burner very quickly. And this abortion issue is being pushed precisely to be the excuse to wipe away Ukraine and bring on the new thing.